We are the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, opining each week on the intersections of faith and politics. We come to you from First Congregational United Church of Christ in DeKalb, Illinois. We hope you enjoy what you hear. Thank you for listening.
Really liking the new word opining. It makes us sound so important.
We're opiners.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Not whiners, opiners.
There you go. There you go. At least those.
Well, we're going to welcome our guest once again to this week's podcast, the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, opining as we are wont to do on the intersection of faith and politics. We want to thank you for tuning in and watching. And let's reintroduce ourselves again. You are
Rebecca Parfit.
And you serve as the poet.
Oh,
you are the.
Right. I'm the poet.
I am John Dorhauer, pastor by right of the office that I hold as the pastor of First Congregational United Church of Christ, a just, peace, open, and affirming church here in DeKalb, Illinois. And you are?
My name is Sharon Nicola, and I am known as the walking woman and the pundit.
The
Pundit.
This is Halloween week. In fact, we're recording the day before Halloween. I am disappointed that I will be the church is hosting a big event that will have about 200 people here for tomorrow night, Halloween night, my favorite night of the year to sit out in the yard. And so, but I'll be here in meetings. But I wonder, what's a favorite Halloween memory that you have?
I think really it was when I fully appreciated that one was to transform oneself with some sort of a costume. I loved that idea. And all I had was a sheet with two eyeballs.
Yeah.
But suddenly I was a ghost and I loved it.
Yeah.
And you got to walk around and people gave you candy.
Yes. And in addition to the fun of being a ghost, you got candy.
Yeah.
A bag full.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite Halloween candy?
You know, I like them all. But I think, what were they called? Kit Kats?
Oh yeah.
They're like little
Oh, yeah.
squares.
Yeah.
I like that
Crap.
it was one piece of candy, but there were four Kit Kats.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Good deal. Good deal.
Sharon, favorite memory?
Well, coming from New Jersey, where we often had costumes and were bundled up with coats over, so it was like
Yes.
always a big reveal when you knocked on a door. I'm trick or treat. My favorite costume was being a pirate because it was easy. You tied a scarf around your head, you wore whatever you wore. But my dad, who's a carpenter, always made me a sword out of balsa wood.
Oh,
And
cool.
sweep, and he had silver paint,
Wow.
a thick silver paint. I mean, I ruled with that
Totally.
costume. So I wore that same thing for about 3 years because every year my dad would make me a new sword. That's my happiest memory. It's very
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
And favorite candy?
Now, I wasn't into candy that much, but I'll tell you something that really repulsed me. All of you who did that, people in our neighborhood stuck bright shiny pennies in apples.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
And, yeah. And then you got this, and I thought, well, I don't want the apple anymore.
Right.
And I sure
Ew.
want those pennies.
Penny.
So,
Ew.
yeah,
That-
gave the
I've
pennies
never
away,
heard of that.
ditched
No.
the apple. Yeah, it was
didn't-
big in my neighborhood.
We didn't do that in New Hampshire.
Well, New Jersey's kind of crude in that way. Yeah. What can I say?
Hey,
Yeah.
Salabi.
And yours
So-
is?
I have two. One was from my childhood. The other is from my children's childhood. The Boy Scouts were having a Halloween party, and then, you had to figure out what your costume was going to be. And I had it all figured out. I had this authentic wool St. Louis Cardinal jersey,
Go to baseball again.
right?
But that's important.
Oh my gosh. It was given to me on my first birthday, and I had to grow into it. And I gave it to my children to wear, and then I gave it to my grandchildren to wear. Anyway, that's what I was going as. And my mom decided, no, I'm going to dress you up this year. Well, my mom, for some reason, thought it would be hilarious to dress me up as a woman. Wig,
Oh,
necklace, dress,
yeah.
makeup.
Oh, dear.
And as she was getting me ready, I just knew all of my
Oh,
friends were going to make fun of me. I cried.
Oh,
I
yeah.
cried. Well, I ended up winning first prize in the costume contest.
Oh, the mascara.
Yeah, the mascara was running from all the tears. And then I remember our children were probably 4 or 5 years old, and every year Mimi made their Halloween costumes, and she made dinosaur costumes for them.
So
Oh, they were
nice.
incredible.
Awesome.
And then watching them dress up. I love favorite candy. Candy corn at Halloween is like a staple. It's not my favorite candy, but you get it once a year at Halloween, and I love it. And what I hated, every once in a while we'd go to a house and they put those, remember those wax lips
yeah.
that they would,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I hated those.
You weren't supposed to eat them, were you?
No.
I tried once and I thought, oh, this is, what's the, anyway, maybe that's why I hate them, because you weren't supposed to do that. Well, from the sublime to the ridiculous now, we're moving on to what we're actually here for, these conversations where we intersect faith and politics. And um, I keep wondering, when are we going to get to the week where we come in and say, well, nothing's happened,
Yeah.
so we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Boy.
But here's what's going on this week. Um, in a number of press conferences, beginning with Steve Bannon being interviewed by The Economist, and then Donald Trump on Air Force One, questions have been asked about uh, transition of power, which has always been an issue with Donald Trump. Always. He cited an insurrection when he didn't get reelected the first time and spent the next 4 years perpetrating what is now known as the big lie.
Mhm.
And Donald Trump is now saying he's going to serve a third term. So I want your thoughts about that. Just whether he's going to accomplish it, which I don't think is a 0% possibility, or whether he's just trolling the left. What does it do to you to hear a president talk about ignoring the 22nd Amendment in the Constitution and serving a third term?
It's just horrific.
Yeah.
It's horrific. And it's no surprise because he is such a sham. And that's putting it mildly.
Rules don't apply to him.
Apparently not. It opens so many really hideous doors that I don't want to think about it.
Well, that's the other thing. It's not only the disregard of the Constitution, but can you imagine? How are we going to endure 4 years of him?
Right.
Give him another 4 years? Can you imagine?
Well,
What's to stop him from saying, oh, I think I'll just serve as long as I want?
That's if we open that door, that there's no closing that door.
oh, I have to say, I recall when he was first elected for his first term, and people like me would say, not my president.
Mhm.
And I did not vote for him. I did not approve of him as president, but I always thought, well, but he is my president. He was elected in 2016. The man is my president. And other presidents have served who had major factions against him. Then we had an interim, and he was reelected to my chagrin, and he has done everything in his power that I can see to whack that Constitution into submission. And when he poses the idea of a third term, now I say he is not my president,
Right.
because my president would follow the Constitution and abide by the idea that a person serves 2 terms and no more. So, yeah, I'm opposed to that. And Steve Bannon, I don't know whether he's trolling the left or has another strongman delusion as Trump does. But what worries me the most about Steve Bannon is that he admitted that they have a plan.
Yes.
You're right.
Okay, and if they had a plan that was legal and above board, they'd probably share it. But if they're planning in darkness, it's probably illegal.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
One of the, and I don't know if this is from them or it's speculation about the plan, is that the originalist theory of the Constitution, which this Supreme Court pulls out when they want,
Right.
in order to fabricate decisions that come up against decades, if not a couple of centuries of precedent, and then dispose of it when they don't want. But a part of the originalist theory that Steve Bannon is going to pose is that only the original Constitution is what the founders intended, which means that all of the amendments are up for grabs. So, it's to people of faith, which of the amendments are you willing to let go of? Would it be freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to assemble, um, habeas corpus, woman's right to vote, uh,
Yeah.
the 14th Amendment freeing the enslaved peoples? Which are we going to do away with?
well, the whole idea of the Constitution and the idea of amendments is that the Constitution as an idea and as a government has the provision to improve it via the legal process of amending.
Exactly.
So if you do away with the concept of amending, you have a dictatorship.
And it's an onerous process to amend the Constitution. It takes a strong majority of all 50 states. It's a supermajority in all 50 states. So,
As
well,
it
not
should
in
be.
2/3 of the, you need,
Right.
so it's an onerous task. It doesn't just happen willy-nilly.
Which was the plan, so
Exactly.
that there would be
Correct.
time and effort spent in deciding, is this what we really want as a
Right.
country?
This
Is
is a
this who we
serious
say we are?
idea.
Is this who we are?
One of the things I've enjoyed is you've become active in the church, and you and I both grew up Catholic, is the freedom that you have and the agency you have as a member of a congregational polity church. And in the last year, we amended our Constitution. And to watch you experience the thrill of having a voice in the outcome and the shaping of the government of the church.
It's huge.
And you grew up congregational,
Yes.
so from
Absolutely.
New Hampshire.
Yes. But the idea that decisions get made by the group
Right,
is so key
exactly.
to the idea of congregational. And that's among the things that we're looking at the end of with this person.
Yeah, so in roughly the same time frame historically, the church, which had been governed by despots, was claiming its right to freely articulate
Yes.
the way to govern themselves, and many of the leaders of that movement also became active leaders of this what would become the United States. And so at the same time, they were beginning to articulate their freedom to form a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and come out from under the power of the despotic king.
Absolutely.
All of that emerged simultaneously.
What a heady time to
Right.
say, by the way, we're not going to be governed by the king anymore.
Right.
It's I note that in this conversation, not only are there people like Steve Bannon saying third term in violation, clear violation of an unambiguous 22nd Amendment, but they're also tying this into the conversation about faith that we're having, looking for the Constitution to be rewritten. They're not originalists when it comes to this,
Right.
so that it reflects biblical law. That's the movement called Christian nationalism. So on the one hand, they're defending an originalist constitution in order to do away with the 22nd Amendment, while they're wanting to amend the Constitution to turn it into a biblical document.
Well put.
Yeah.
Yep.
The government is almost a full month into the shutdown, and one of the uh, disastrous results of that is letters went out this week to all families receiving SNAP benefits. And there are, I think it's close to 11 million children who are affected by this. And notice went out this week that they would no longer receive any SNAP benefits. And what Trump is threatening is that they're not coming back. They don't have the funding for it. And he may be right after the tax breaks they gave to the billionaires, even though there is a provision in the government for shutdowns like this, where I think it's $9 billion have been reserved in case we go into a government shutdown. The money is there and it's been allocated for this. And yet, and still, they're saying to the families, even though that money's there, you're still not getting any of that. Thoughts about hungry children now going without food.
It's inconceivable. It's
Cruel.
ugly, cruel, wrong, anti-human,
And certainly anti-Christian.
I'll say.
I think the idea of inflicting maximum pain
Mhm.
on our citizens in order to achieve one person's goals
Exactly.
is anathema to people in general, and certainly opposed to our Constitution,
Yes.
we the people.
Yep.
And to ignore that is, coming from my Catholic background, I would call that sinful. And I don't use that term lightly.
Right.
Exactly.
And a disregard for kids.
Oh, come on.
Really.
It's
How dare they?
and to for Mike Johnson in particular to talk to the public with a straight face and say it's not us, it's them, when children are on the line.
Exactly.
Okay, the us and them argument loses validity.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
I was a parent of children who received these benefits back in the early days when Mimi and I were young and didn't have sufficient income to make ends meet. And I can't imagine getting by without those benefits. And knowing that the money is there.
Yes.
Knowing that the money is there makes it
Yeah.
even more heinous.
Another
Disgusting.
another result of the shutdown, and really the reason the Democrats are holding their ground on this is what's going to happen to healthcare.
Yep.
And just as letters went out to families with children about SNAP benefits, letters have also gone out this week to those in the open market, and I'm one of them. As folk are looking to renew their health benefits for 2026, many are being told that their healthcare premiums are going to triple. And I've gone in and looked at my account. It's somewhere between double and tripling my premium.
Good
Um,
Lord.
Yeah. And then the church pays mine. I have a certain budget to spend and I'll be within the budget. So I'm okay, but my premium is tripling. I mean, we're talking about food for kids and health care. These are human rights.
Exactly. And they're supposed to be with us permanently, given our government. And this person who thinks he can do anything is now wiping out even that.
And we've been talking about children, and yeah, totally, I'm concerned. I'm a mother. Glad my children are grown up.
Yeah.
I'm also a senior. I'm also retired. I'm also on a fixed income.
Yep.
If premiums go up as they are promised to do, I might need SNAP benefits, but they won't be there.
Right.
So think of the pinch
Right.
of seniors on a fixed income.
To say nothing, the pinch felt by parents trying to be sure that they feed their children.
It's
Many of
maximum
whom
pain.
are already making decisions about whether or not to make the car payment,
Right.
make the rent payment, or buy groceries for their kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just inconceivable.
I just think of the trickle down, or I'm not sure if trickle down is the right term, but as things are cut back, it will have a ripple effect
Yes.
that really
Oh, yeah.
is predetermining not only an inflation but a depression. Our system can't bear this burden.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Well, at least for the next 3.5 years, this is what we are being asked to endure. And we're just, I mean, we get 30 minutes to talk every week. We're leaving 3 hours of conversation off the table about
Mhm.
other things that are going on. And what to do about it is the question. And unfortunately, the people who hold the levers to our government at this point in time um, have the power to affect these horrible things that we're
Yes.
talking about.
Yes, they do.
We ask every week, my friends and I ask, we're always asking, what can we do?
Yeah.
And my thought is, we have rallied, millions of us have rallied
Yes.
in opposition. I think we need to become more vocal with our Republican representatives who, up till now, are abiding by Mike Johnson's prolonged vacation, mind you, on the taxpayer dime.
Mm.
And
They're getting paid.
they're getting
Oh,
paid.
sure.
They have a per diem of about $100 per day, even though they may not be serving in the house. Okay, I think at the very least, we need to put some pressure on those people
Mhm.
to break away and do the right thing
Good.
for we the people. Because
Exactly.
although they are representative of their party, they are not fully being representative of all their constituents in their area. And I think we really need to put pressure on them. I don't know how they can abide what's going on.
Yeah. This is back to the question about 3 terms in the 22nd Amendment,
Yeah.
right? Donald Trump has already publicly said, I'm curious about what J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio are going to do if I decide I'm running, because you know that those two are swallowing every ounce of pride that's left in them to kiss Donald Trump's butt with the hope that when he leaves office, he gets they get his blessing and his followers vote for them. And if they've given all of that, humiliated themselves in front of
Yes.
him for the public to see, only to be told,
Yeah.
I'm curious about how that's going to play out.
Yeah. It's going to be really something. How
Well,
they
I
gonna do
don't
it.
think Trump's blessing goes as far as it once did. His approval rating is pretty much in the toilet, as
Except
it
for
should
that
be.
whatever 38 to 40% that just worship the ground he
Mhm.
walks on.
Is it that high?
Yeah,
I don't think they have felt yet the impact
Right.
they
of
haven't.
some of his
That's
domestic
coming.
policies.
Right.
That's coming, and in 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, the farmers in Iowa and Nebraska are
Oh.
voicing their displeasure.
Mm.
Yeah.
There are folks who were very opposed to the Obama ACA
Yeah.
and now realize that they're
That's all they got.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that because it was Obama they were opposed. Now that it's in their, they figured out that it's their insurance premiums and so forth, they're not as happy as they were.
Right. Gee, maybe
Yeah.
it wasn't such a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think his endorsement will go as far as it once did.
The other thing is, I don't know that it so easily transfers from him to whomever he,
What is
nor
that?
do I think his ego strength is solid enough that he could give that to somebody else. I think he'd just rather walk away and keep his group to himself. And I
Yeah.
think no matter what,
Mm.
JD Vance and Marco Rubio end up abandoned
Mhm.
by Donald, and it does them no good.
And they weep quietly.
I just wish
I'd love to see him
that
weep openly.
Yeah, good.
Show me those teams.
reviews of Vance referring to Trump as a modern day Hitler, or
Really?
Yeah.
Rubio in his
didn't-
when he was running, commenting about how demonic and horrible
No
Trump
kidding.
was,
Yeah.
and just keep showing those, because at one time
Yeah,
they had some self integrity. At one time they had
right.
some mind of their own, and they gave it all up to
Yeah.
be on Trump's good side.
Yeah, but
MAGA.
they had a conversation with him, and it
Mm.
turns out he's a nice guy.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah,
Gosh, maybe we're wrong about
Yeah.
that.
maybe. Well, we've come to the end of our time. We always leave an opportunity for a last word, and you've got a poem you want to read for us.
Yes.
Rich Orloff, by the way, he's a Jewish spiritualist and writes
Great.
poetry, and sent this in, and it just feels perfect. Would you mind?
I would be pleased. I haven't read it before, so I might be a little halting, but I'll give it my best shot.
Thank you.
It's called That Part Needs Your Love by Rich Orloff. On a day when I feel totally stuck, when I'm scared to be and scared to move, a gentle voice tells me, the part of you terrified to let go, that part needs your love.
Mhm.
The part of you that would rather suffer than heal, that part needs your love. And if you feel antipathy toward your own sorrow, that part needs your love too. And if you are mired in resentment, remember that resentment is the consolation prize for lack of love. So that part needs your love. Love the blockages, love the part of you that can't envision anything beyond the painful now. Love the part of you that refuses to be loved but desperately needs your love. If there is any part of you that you think doesn't deserve your love, love that part of you even more. The first step of love is always caring and accepting who you are. If you don't treat every part of you with love, you're doomed to repeat the trauma once inflicted on you. And if you've convinced yourself, I don't know how to love myself, that part needs your love.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I need a copy of that.
I'll make sure you got one.
Yeah,
Thank
I'd
you.
like one too.
Wow.
It's excellent.
My final word is my shirt, as always.
Save democracy, resist, persist, prevail. Amen, sister.
Solidarity. That's what we need.
Solidarity.
Speaking of solidarity, I always leave with this word. We need each other. We are in this together. We're going to get through this.
Yes.
We are the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, opining on the intersection of faith and politics. Thank you for listening.
That was our podcast this week. Be sure to tune in next week for another edition of The Poet, the Pastor, and the Pundit, opining on the intersections of faith and politics. Thank you for listening.